Okay, we're back with our third guest, Taylor Wells, who I don't actually really know how to describe. Entrepreneur, mother, serial entrepreneur, yoga instructor, everything. I don't know. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, as little as you can make it, because you have a big story. So let's hear a little bit about you, and then we'll get into your book.
First of all, thank you so much.
No
Chelsea.
problem. Thank you for being here. We're really excited to have you on.
So I'm really into gratitude and telling people thank you, and I'm grateful. I think that people spend a lot of time unknowingly complaining and saying negative things, and they don't realize that they're creating their next moment with their words, because they're so powerful. We are so powerful beyond what we know. So it's a very simple thing. You can start like immediately, just saying thank you. So thank you.
Thank you. That was a good way to start.
So yeah, I'm a mom of 5. I have Dakota and Montana are twin boys. They're 8. Phoenix is 11, a boy. Sage is 14, a girl, and Madison is 21, and she's a girl. She's actually at Brown University right around the corner.
Nice. That's your alma mater, correct?
It is, yes.
Okay.
It's my happy place. I love Brown. And I love Providence and Barrington. We moved to Barrington, Rhode Island a couple years ago from Newton, Massachusetts, where we had lived for about 30 years, and we had 5 yoga studios that we just recently actually sold to Yoga Works after 16 years. So we founded Prana Power Yoga. It's hot yoga with a spiritual bent to it. And we had 2 studios in New York City and 3 studios in the Boston area. And I personally practice Prana Power Yoga every single morning at 4 a.m.
Woof. I mean, it sounds nice to do hot yoga in this weather, but I don't know about 4 a.m. That is ambitious.
Well, I go to bed early.
Okay,
I like my
all right.
8 hours of sleep, Chelsea.
Yeah,
I love
that's
my sleep.
fair enough.
I love my sleep. So, I mean, honestly, that's my alone time when you have 5 kids. That's the me time that I have, is before my little chickens, as I call them, wake up. So, anyhow, the studios, we had a raw vegan restaurant. It was funny because Natalie was talking about her raw bar, her mega bar,
Yep.
and I was smiling at the synchronicity because we were raw vegan, which means we didn't cook our food, and it was all vegan for 7 years, and we opened a restaurant lifetimes ago in Newton, Massachusetts, and that the restaurant business is a tough business,
Yes.
and I'm really, really glad we did it. I learned a lot of lessons, and we sold that, and basically, I decided, I've been writing for a long time. I wrote for the Boston Herald for many years, and I wrote a blog called supermom.com that was not about being perfect, you moms out there. It was about doing your best each moment and beginning again and again. And that's very yogic. It's not ever about being perfect. No one is perfect. It's just about doing your best, breathing, and beginning again and again. So anyhow, I've been writing for years, and people would always stop me, and they'd be like, oh my God, how do you do it? You have all these kids, and you have these studios, and you always seem happy, and are you ever stressed? And they would always ask the exact same questions over and over again, and I would want to answer them and tell them what I did every day, these 3 practices that I do. And but I'd be like at Trader Joe's, or I'd be at a soccer game, or I'd be someplace, Chelsea, where I couldn't sit down and talk to them for 20 minutes. Because as you can see, I am a talker.
Yeah, she did her hair here today, so
yeah,
not a lot of time.
I was, and my eyeliner. So anyway, I decided to write the book. I was doing consulting, and I realized like that's not really fair because only people who could afford to pay for consulting and who lived in the state of Massachusetts could do it, and I wanted to put everything into an accessible book that's just a bunch of stories. I'm a storyteller. I love to talk. I love to tell stories. I love to listen to stories. People always tell me their stories. I'm actually trained as a clinical psychologist, and I did that because my whole life people have always told me the stories. So my book is simply 80 stories, real life stories, and they're all short, so you can, because nobody reads anymore. Like I texted a few friends yesterday, and I realized, okay, like no one even reads texts anymore. Like, everyone's just so busy, and so the book is short stories that teach you, hopefully with a little humor, how to create your best life ever using 3 principles, one of which is the law of attraction. Have you heard of the law of attraction?
I have, but I wouldn't be able to define it for you if you asked me, so.
So a lot of people have heard about the book called The Secret.
Yes.
Because Oprah really liked that, and that, I think most people have heard of that, and so that kind of made the law of attraction famous, but it's been around forever, and basically the simple definition is what I put out comes back to me. And the really cool thing about it, everybody, is that it's not like, oh my God, I'm screwed because I had this thought, or I did this thing, or I didn't do that well, or whatever. It's moment to moment. So this is one of my cards. By the way, I have a card deck, which goes with the book. And the cards help you to reprogram your brain, because we all have negative thoughts sometimes. We're human.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this moment is as it should be, you know. And so if you're like freaking out about something, and you're like, oh my God, and you're stressed or you're anxious, and you look at this card, hopefully it will calm you down a little bit.
Yeah.
Everything is unfolding as it should, and you can calm down and breathe, and again, you get to start again. It's very yogic. So I love to tell people about, that basically you're pure potential, and you don't have to worry. Worry is actually a magnet. And people think it's their job to worry. I'm worried about this. I'm anxious about this. It's kind of like in style to say that you're so busy and you're so stressed and you're this and you're that. And actually, I'm going to teach you, and I teach you through my book and my deck, and I have 3 more decks coming out. Don't say those things. And just stop now, and don't feel bad about the past.
Absolutely, yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does, it does. And so that's something that we'll learn through the book and the cards, and also you're a speaker as well. So
I do, yeah, and I'm an inspirational speaker, and so I speak wherever, people ask me to speak. And by the way, I was terrified of speaking. I could not even raise my hand in school, even in college at Brown. I was so nervous. In graduate school, couldn't raise my hand. So, anything is possible. I really believe that, and it's just practice. And I still get butterflies. I had butterflies before I came up here. But things like, by letting go, it all gets done. I know that seems like so simple and simplistic. I do my best with breath. But when you actually take a look at the thoughts that are streaming through your brain, they could be pretty negative. And so this one says, my job is to relax, appreciate, and enjoy. And I think that when you start to do that, Chelsea, and you slow down and you say, whoa, I get a lot done in a day. So I'm not an idle person. I have a lot of momentum and a lot of energy, but I do take a moment to relax and appreciate and enjoy, and that changes the energy, and that changes everything, because energy is everything, right? It's physics.
And so I have to ask, I saw on your website that you actually were the ambassador to peace for the UN. What does that mean?
Yeah, so that was an interesting gig. They called me in.
The United Nations, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The United Nations.
That's interesting.
And it's funny how I remember when that was, everybody, because when you have kids, you guys are going to laugh if you have kids. The way I remember stuff is, okay, Sage was a toddler, and we had to go to New York, and I had to get Sage covered so I could go to the UN. Like, that's my memory of being, this brought into this amazing position. So basically, I taught yoga for them in various places.
Wow.
Over the years, and when they want me and call upon me, I will do so. both at the United Nations and in other venues. And also I do a lot of my healing work, Chelsea, remotely.
Okay.
And that's going to swing back to what I teach about with law of attraction because, for example, with politics, which I'm not going to talk about.
I won't ask.
No, I'm not going to talk about it. But with politics and world events, etc., people really like to get down and dirty and really it gets quite negative. And what I say to people is, if you can spend, a certain amount of time each day remotely visualizing and praying for peace and light to the world. I know that sounds really hokey, but it works. And on a personal level, if you're having a personal issue with someone and can't resolve it, and you're just angry or you're hurt or whatever, the very best thing you can do, you're not going to want to hear this, is send them light. And it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do because it's really easy to get angry and want revenge and want to do the opposite of sending light. And so that's also part of my work with the United Nations.
Oh, that's great. That's super interesting. When I read that, I knew I had to ask you about it because I had never heard of that position, and it's amazing. So we only have a couple minutes, but I want to talk about these products that you brought and also about the book signing before we sign up.
With Natalie, I'm so excited. So first of all, I'm a huge fan of Natalie. I mean, how can you not love her? We hit it off. Love that girl. Love the Peyton Company. It's kind of dangerous because I want to buy every single thing in that store. I love the door, love the whole thing. So come over because we're going to be having a blast, gabbing and hanging out all day. I'm sure at some point, Natalie, we will pop up in some sort of Prosecco. It'll be 5 o'clock somewhere. So, and we can balance it with Juice Plus. So the walkabout's going to be awesome. I love Rhode Island. I love Barrington, as I said, where I live, in Warren. It's really such a special place. My friends in Barrington joke that I need to work for the state of Rhode Island because I am just talking about how positive it is all the time. But it really is such a wonderful small town feel.
I agree.
Being
I totally agree.
Boston and New York. Not that there's anything wrong with Boston and New York. Now, but I'm originally from the Midwest, and I realized that I'm actually a small Midwestern girl at heart, and I was kind of living in these huge cities. So one of the
things... Let's talk about Juice Plus really quick.
Plus, yeah. So I'm really into wellness, clearly, and I've been into wellness since I was 5, and my grandmother and I would sit and talk about vitamins. I, as I said, was raw vegan, and basically a friend told me about this product, and honestly I was super skeptical because people pitch me stuff all the time. I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that. But they had a free children's health study where they get the research for their kids on the product, and I love free things. I love yard sales. I love free anything. So I was like, why not? Why not? So I, honest to goodness, expected nothing, and I certainly expected nothing for myself because, hello, I thought I was the healthiest person ever, and I was shocked that it's, first of all this is fruit and vegetables in capsules.
In a capsule.
Yeah, the gummies. I don't have the gummy packaging with me, but this is, fruit and vegetables in capsules or gummies. And so it's not a vitamin. A really important take-home point, you guys, is it's food. It's food. It has a nutrition label instead of a vitamin label.
Got it.
So I eat this every day, and I was surprised. I was shocked, one could say, that it changed the map of my already healthy family's health, and continues to do so. And I don't like to talk specifically about what changed for our family because everyone's different and needs different things.
Fair enough, yeah.
But it's the bomb. I eat it every day, and I literally called my friend, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. I want to tell everyone about it. So
there you are, telling everyone about it.
So I do, yeah. And so that's that.
Okay,
yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So Taylor, thank you so much for coming on, and we hope everybody goes out to the Peyton Company and to Warren this weekend for the really cool event that's happening on Saturday, right?
Sunday,
sorry, from 12 to 5.
To 5.
And it's all throughout Child Street in Warren.
Yep.
But the Peyton Company is obviously having an awesome book signing with yourself. Go there, try out some products, meet Taylor. She's obviously a very interesting person, so we want everybody to go out and get their book signed and chat with her a little bit. So thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate you taking the time to come to the studio. We're very happy to have you here, so thanks so much.
Well, I do have to say, this lady and everyone here has incredibly positive energy, and
Yes,
I know
we do.
energy, so
That's true. We try.
you do.
We do. So thank you so much for coming on. Guys, stay tuned. Our final guests today are from the Steel Yard. We're here to talk about the Halloween iron pour, which is going to be pretty awesome. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back.